I started my first performance when I was around 4 years. I feel the competition is not your seniors. The competition is the next generation. Yeah. To be very honest, I was like a guy who's like, you ask me, what do you want to become? I'll be like, I want to become an astronaut. After that, I actually joined Cognizant. I told my mom that I want to quit. Being successful is a journey. Because I was in a mindset that if I'm doing a dance studio, it has to be on a global level. I did something which people usually don't do. So I thought from a third person point of view. I was like, who's Pranav? Why do people know Pranav? So what is he known for? The pay scale for the dancers, the dance professors in Indian rupees is close to around 5 lakh to 8 lakh per month.
Hi guys and welcome to another fresh episode of Conversation with Katie. Dance. It's not just a word, it's an emotion. சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே ஃபஸ்ட்டு சொல்லிக் கொடுக்குறதே ஆட்டம் பாட்டம் கொண்டாட்டம். மியூசிக் அண்ட் டான்ஸ் இஸ் சச் அன் இன்டெக்ரல் பார்ட். அது வந்து நம்ம ஒரு தலை பாட்டாக இருக்கட்டும், தலைப்பத்தி பாட்டாக இருக்கட்டும், ஃபஸ்ட்டு எந்திரிச்சது டான்ஸ் பண்ணி தான் இட்ஸ் லைக் அ ஹோல் வைப். சின்ன வயசில் இருக்கும் போது வீட்டில் யாராச்சும் கெஸ்ட்டு வந்தால் பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து ஃபஸ்ட்டு இந்த பாட்டில் ஆடி காமியே, ஏன் இந்த பாட்டு நீ பாடி காமியே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. பட் அதை வந்து ஒரு பேஷனாக மாற்றி பேஷனை அவங்களோட கெரியராக மாற்றுறது தான் மேட்டர். அண்ட் ப்ளஸ் having seen such a visible growth in their career, ஸ்கூலில் கல்ச்சுரல்ஸில் மட்டும் போகாமல் ஹேவிங் கண்டினியூயிங் தேட் இன்னைக்கு அவங்க ஒரு ஆண்டர்ப்ரெனராக மாறியிருக்காங்கன்னா அது எவ்வளோ பெரிய விஷயம். ப்ளஸ் இன்னைக்கு கெரியர் ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி டான்ஸில் பார்க்க போனால் தெர் ஆர் ஸோ மெனி ஹொரைசன்ஸ் தட் யூ அண்ட் ஐ ஆர் நாட் யூ அவேர் ஆஃப். But to help us with the same, today we have Mr.Pranav here, who is an entrepreneur, is the president from India of International Dance Organization, also to called the Indian representative in International Dance Organization. Nariya dance forms அவர் கற்றுக்கிட்டாரு and plus he is now teaching as a choreographer and as a master himself. Welcoming none other than Pranav here to our studio and to our conversation. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Hello. Hi guys. Hi,
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you so much for inviting me over here.
So starting with, how did dance get to you?
So I started to dance like at a very young age, like not professionally, like every Indian kid. Probably I started my first performance when I was around 4 years, and it was just like a general performance. And then you have your school annual days and sports days where you like have to act like in all awkward characters. So it started off like that in school, but in school I was not too interested, actually, to be very honest. My entire middle school I wasn't very interested. I was a very chubby kid, so I was completely very insecure at that particular point of time to go and dance. But suddenly, probably from 9th standard onwards, I started to just give it a try because I was like, why not? Let's just try. And I had a couple of seniors, and my sister was studying the same school, and her friend was part of like the school team or something like that. And she was like, come, why can't you dance? And I'm the prefect team. Yeah. So they came and they called me, and like no, every family will be like, hey, my son is a very good dancer, he knows how to dance. And what, I don't know when I showed that talent, but then they were like, okay, he will dance very well. So I went on, and as usual, I was not very passionate about it. I just went to just skip class, to be very honest. And then like 2 years went that way, and then suddenly in 11th grade I started to get very curious regarding the styles and what to do, and I started to meet a lot of good teachers, dance teachers, which actually changed my way of thinking about dance. But I was still looking at only growing in school level. I wasn't like something. Probably I started my first performance when I was around 4 years. I mean, at that time I'm talking about 2008, 2009. So it was like something, that time it was just like the scope for dancing was there, but I didn't know too many options back then. I wasn't told too many options back then. So it started off like that, and then college dancing got more serious. I studied in SRM University, so we had like a crazy dance team. Then we got into the team, and then we started to dance. And then college dancing, that time itself was like at its peak. I feel that time, 2011, it was Chennai had a very crazy set of dancers, and currently all those dancers have become professionals also. So we had like a very good batch. I'm saying like 4 years elder to me and 4 years younger to me. They're like that bunch of dancers are like extremely talented, and they have taken it up as a career and gone into film. Some are working in the film industry, some are set up studios. So it that batch was like a very motivating batch. I feel I was lucky enough to be part of that group.
So, do you think kids are now taking dance seriously as a career? And is it happening in their school, end of school or college?
Definitely, it is a seasonal thing. Not everyone is interested to take it up as a career. Obviously, everyone has different goals. Here, what culturals in general it does is that it actually creates one kind of a creative space, like for your dance, for your music, for a lot of talking events, a lot of debates, which I feel is useful to for the students to open up in general. It builds a lot of confidence. So I see culturals as a um, like a proper personality development, because I when I go to the schools and colleges, I see the students who attend these culturals and these debates and these activity programs, they are so confident in the real life.
Really?
And I feel it's very important that every student must take that initiative to go forward and take part in these culturals, because it opens up them as a person. It's not just like you improve in your dance or your music. It's a general personality development which happens. And in terms of dancers, I feel that at that particular point of time they are highly committed. When I was in school, that level of commitment was not there. Even I wasn't so committed. I was like, okay, it's a competition, so let it go. I mean, yeah, we win, we win. We don't win, we don't win. But then now, the amount of time the students are ready to invest for the competition practice and to perform even in a stage show in their schools and colleges is like something which I feel is on a professional level. They don't want to settle anything less than 100%. So that is something which I see is completely different from what I see right now and what I saw 10 years back. So the level of commitment right now has increased, and the seriousness has is like, trust me, there is no stage with these guys don't want to uh, like give less commitment. Every single stage they are like they go full out. And parents also support, teachers also support nowadays. Maybe it's the time. Maybe this is the decade for artists, because this is the next generation, right? So yeah, I'm talking like I'm like some very old person, but and I feel that this generation gap will start with this generation switch will start to that number of years will start to decrease over the period of time. So after a point of time, you might find after every 2 years, people will start to connect less. So that's what I personally feel. But the thing about being in the creative field, especially like as a teacher, as a dance teacher myself, I get to see this different
Yeah.
types of generations, because we deal with kids who are like 4 years, 5 years old, and they come with these cool smartwatches, and then they're like dialing in their phone, in their watch, and then they're like, "Mom, I reached class." I'm like, at 5 years old, I was like clueless. I didn't even know how to switch on a remote also, and then yeah, that happens.
That age, like 5, 7 years
Yes,
of
so
age.
they are super duper confident, and I am so curious to see how they would turn out 20 years down the line. So I feel the competition is not your seniors. The competition is the next generation. Yeah. Especially in a creative field, it's like the younger generation comes up with more creative ideas, and it's up to the seniors, or I will not say seniors, it's up to yourself to keep yourself really updated and remain creative. So
So, how did you take this path of dance as a career? Because it's quite unconventional, right? So, how did you take this unconventional path of dance as your career?
yes, so I started off, as I said, dance wasn't my in my uh, in any way I felt that I'm going to take it up as a career, because I was just
Asked you what's your ambition, it's not that you would have told.
to be very honest, I was like a guy who's like, you ask me what do you want to become, I'll be like, I want to become an astronaut, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a yeah, because I was very fascinated by the suit and that helmet they wear, and then I was like, okay, I want to become an astronaut, I want to become a doctor, just because I saw them wear the white suit, and then I want to become a lawyer. Literally, I wanted to become everything. But then when I started to know that the effort needed to do and to become an astronaut and a lawyer and a doctor is like really high, I was like, I was started to like reject one by one, and uh, so I actually didn't think about it too much. So
Right.
after my school, I immediately joined engineering by default.
Okay.
Honestly speaking, I got my college admission pre-booked while I was writing my board exam, because I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do great in my boards. So I was like, I'm just going to just get my admissions done, and I just chose some degree which was available. I did my telecommunication engineering in SRM, and now that's like really it's a very high demand course. And when I was doing it, it was like that course was available like ready. So in 2011, no one was taking telecommunication. Everyone was like going for ECE, mechanical, computer science. So I just did that. So that got me like 4 years to think of what I want to do. And it's just like I feel every one of us have, after completing school, we either do a BCom and then decide what to do in life, or we do an engineering and then decide what we want to do in life. Very few people end up becoming an actual engineer. To be very honest, I was like a guy who's like, you ask me what do you want to become, I'll be like, I want to become an astronaut. It's their second dream. The first dream was already there. It's like a mechanical factory. You study school and then you do an engineering and then you decide what you want to do with your life. So that's how the usual pattern is. I'm pretty sure you also, when you were in school, you wouldn't have thought that you would be taking a podcast interview. Yeah. So that's something which I feel happens over time. And if at all there are more film schools, and if there are more creative schools, wherein the parents also encourage the children to go and enroll after school, because why waste 4 years and do something else and then do take up an alternate profession, right? So I feel uh, that I started
Right.
my engineering as a hobby. Like my dance, during my engineering, my dance was still my hobby until fourth year, because my fourth year I saw my colleagues.
In a way, that line did make sense.
Yeah.
I was doing engineering as a hobby.
Yeah, it was
Because
basically like
dance
that.
was more
Yeah, I
serious.
was very interested in dancing that time. I was not a bad student. I haven't had any arrears, so I was actually very good. Like I liked I liked the subject, and I had great friends to help me study in the last moment, and I had like this very really close knit of friends. So we had our own fun in college, so that was good. My final year is when I actually started to think, okay, fine, what am I going to do with my life?
Because campus placements came
Yes.
into the picture.
Suddenly I'm looking at all these guys are suddenly studying, and they're like, I got placed in this company, and I'm like, oh, okay, so what am I going to do? Still, I was still ready to ride the wave. I was like, okay, let me also try some placements. And I got placed surprisingly in 3 companies. I got placed in Infosys, I got placed in TCS and Cognizant. And uh, I was like, and my friends were like, hey, how is this possible? You hardly were in class, and then what are you doing? And then I was like, for me, I like to speak. Honestly, I like to speak. And then during the interview sessions, probably the HRs like the way I spoke, or I'm not sure what was it. But then I was like very open about. They asked me, what is your 5 year plan? I'm like, I was very pleasing with everyone. I was like, probably I would like to do this, that. That was a very difficult question to answer as a college graduate. What is your 5 year plan? I'm honestly speaking, no one has a 5 year plan, and it's very, it's very scary to ask that, to get that question in front of you. So after that, I actually joined Cognizant.
You did?
Yes. After college, still I wasn't sure, because I was like, okay, fine, let me give it a try. Like how after school I was like, let me give engineering a try. I actually started. I got myself enrolled in Cognizant, and I was checking out the rules of the 3 companies, and Cognizant had like the least restrictions.
Got it. It was more chill.
Yeah, and I joined Cognizant because Cognizant had a dance team.
Oh.
All right, and I was like, for some random reason, yeah, so I was like, okay, if I go somewhere, I need to have that dance element with me. So I went there, and probably the second day of of me joining Cognizant, I get an email saying that, okay, I need you to meet us at the cafeteria at this particular place, because we heard that you're a dancer and you've danced in college. can you come for a meeting? I was like, okay, fine. What meeting is this? And then suddenly I'm going there, I'm seeing like 20, 25 people in that cafeteria waiting for me. And they're like, we have seen you dance in college. We've been actually following your work. And can you choreograph for our office team, for the Cognizant dance team? I was like, okay, so this is like the perfect company for me. And so we went and I started to perform there in Cognizant for like, we did like a couple of 4 or 5 performances. We won a lot of competitions in Cognizant, which again the company was very happy about it. Obviously my manager was not very happy because I was not doing the actual work was not happening. But then after a point of time, then after that I actually joined Cognizant. I need to take a decision. Either I take up dance as a career, or I continue in IT because that also has a lot of scope. And I believe every industry has a scope. It's just that you need to make the right decisions at the right time for you to survive. So I decided that, okay, I'm just going to quit. I just had a conversation with my mom. Exactly 1 year. I was about to celebrate, after celebrated my 1 year of Cognizant. All my friends messaged me, they're like, hey, congratulations, 1 year, let's go out. Then it struck me. And then I that 1 year flew so fast, actually, that scared me a lot. I was like, by the time I close my eyes and open my eyes, I'm pretty sure my second year is going to be completed. And I have to make a decision if I really like this or not. And I felt that I was not able to connect with anyone else apart from the dance team in Cognizant. So, which was like, I like to speak, I like to meet people, I like to engage with them, uh, get to know them, but that wasn't happening like how it used to happen in college. So, I was like, maybe this is not the place for me. Maybe I need to be in a different zone or a different company. But then again, I can't judge a company based on just like that particular building, right? So one evening I just went, like after I celebrated, we went out actually because we all joined together, right? Like after college. And then next day I went home. I told my mom that I want to quit. I want to start a studio. She said, are you sure? I said yes. And then immediately she said, okay, we'll build a studio. No, no, all that didn't happen. Honestly, that didn't happen. The reason is because, see, I'll tell you what everyone wants to hear is a commitment. They want to hear a confident person taking a decision. That's where a lot of people fail to understand that you need to ask the right questions and you need to be very confident. If you're not confident, if you go tell your parents that I want to take up dance as a career, and if they ask you what are you going to do, and if you don't have an answer to that question, that's going to create a problem. But when my mom asked me the question, like, what are you going to do in dance? I had a lot of things to say. I had already planned by then what I would do if I open a studio. Why if what kind of studio I want, and what will I do with the studio. And I actually had a 5 year plan. All right. Here I had a 5 year plan by default. In fact, it came spontaneously. I had to tell something, right? So it came, and I was like, I want to go international, and I want to do a lot of things. I want to teach a lot of people. I want to train schools and do a lot of choreographies, and get get to see what is missing in Chennai, and then try to implement that in our. I told my mom that I want to quit studio, and then we had to construct it. It was in my terrace, so we used the space. We took a loan. We built it from scratch. No, I didn't have any like business experience, so we didn't have anything like that before. Then afterwards we took it, and then like we we had a lot I had a lot of friends obviously in the dance field, and everyone were very happy. They were like, actually they were very supportive. They were like, okay, not bad yet. After 1 year of IT, you're quitting and then you're taking up dance as a full time, which is nice. They also felt okay, very good. Okay, but then still I had a lot of people who doubted me. They were like, probably he's not going to take it up like full time. Maybe he's going to do it like for 6 months and then he's going to have a switch. Because that's what people do. They try for 6 months or 1 year. If they don't succeed, they just stop. But I was like, determined. I was like, I am going to do it. No matter what, I am definitely going to be successful. And to be successful is not something where you reach a point and say you're successful. Being successful is a journey.
Yeah. I
It,
think the question is, are you content?
yeah. So that's very important. That being content, and again, you being content can also mean being satisfied and sitting back. I feel you need to be content, but yet have that hunger
Yeah.
to do more.
Yeah.
So then I slowly started to research what is missing in Chennai, and then what is missing in my area. Because see, dance is a it's a studio, right? So my focus was within my 2 kilometer radius, what people want. So we slowly started to look out, and I had couple of my friends check it out. I was also like, since I quit my job, had more time, so I was checking out. Then we started to, I did like all possible license courses that time. So we did a course with, I did my Zumba license, because they said if you do Zumba license, that your studio will be like super duper cool. Like I literally believed everything, because I had to do it, right? So I did my Zumba certification, and then I got into CSTD, which is the Commonwealth Society of Teachers of Dance. It's an Australian syllabus. So I did my jazz certification there up to grade 4, and I did a kids program. It was like a preschool kids program. It's a syllabus where we teach the toddlers. So I did that. It's called Come Dance with Me. So I did Come Dance with Me program for the kids as well. So, and then I did my Jive course. Being successful is a journey. Courses. Jive is a couple dance form. It's something like swing dance, and it was very interesting to me. And to be very honest, I get shy dancing with a girl too close. And Jive was the only dance where I have to dance a little bit far. All right. So, because see, we are so used to doing hip hop and street dance. So, all from my school till my college, I was only doing street dance. And suddenly, if you go to a guy who's doing street dance and you ask him to do a close hold with a girl, he's not going to, like, probably he's just, while dancing, he's just going to like bump into each other, and you're just going to hit each other. So, for me, that was like one concern. So I was like, okay, let's do it again. I had a lot of people tell me that you need to do a lot of have a variety. So just for the learning purpose, I learned Jive. And then again, I had like two wonderful teachers from Australia who came over, who taught me, and that was a nice experience. I'm still in touch with them, and this is like 8 years back. So I'm still in touch with them. They're a very sweet couple in Perth, Australia. So I was very happy. Yeah, this the reason I did CSTD, or like the certain, not just CSTD. Like there were a lot more options. Like CSTD, there are a lot more international courses which a lot of studios in India are doing it. And I was very inspired by a couple of studios who were doing like these kind of international certifications, because I was in a mindset that if I'm doing a dance studio, it has to be on a global level, and I want to provide that kind of a premium facility. I want to provide a premium setup for the students. It was successful for a lot of people. Literally everyone who did the course, they had like super duper success. All right. Now, obviously, when I was entering that, I was also under the same impression that if I'm going to do a Zumba license, or if I'm going to do like these technical courses, I'm also going to be part of that successful bandwagon. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for me. So I had spent like a lot of time in doing this, and then I was sitting, and then we were wondering of that why aren't students coming? Because then I had to just rework on my plan. But usually that's where people stop, and that's where people switch. But what I did was like, probably, now thinking of it, I did something which people usually don't do. So I thought from the third person point of view. I was like, who's Pranav? Why do people know Pranav? So what is he known for?
Right.
That time I was posting a lot of videos on Facebook, and that time Instagram was not like too popular. So, and that's when I started to launch the classes which are my style. it was like it did have a name. It wasn't pure hip hop or pure locking or house dance. Because I was in a mindset that if I'm doing a dance studio, it has to be on a global level. Also, who were who I asked to come and teach in my studio. So I told them, guys, don't do anything complicated. Let's do something which we are known for. Relatable. Let's not complicate things by giving like such fancy names and scaring people off by saying this certificate, you have an exam, and make it complicated. That's when that model worked for us, and we stuck to that. And that's when I realized that it's very important in a business. You identify yourself, and it's okay to fail, but you need to remain motivated. You need to stay motivated. A success, there's no success formula. Like those international courses is a very good thing. It might work for some people, but it might not. So what we did was we just that I feel it's good that I did that course, because of that course now I did something which people usually don't do. So I thought from a third person point of view. I was like, who's Pranav? Why do people know Pranav? So what is he known for? Okay, it's gone. Yeah.
So someone would have probably asked you what your ambition was. You wouldn't have told like to become a dancer, right? Yeah.
Yes. So I will want to reframe your question. There were so many options before. Now there are also. The thing is that many people didn't know that there were options. So right now I feel that I want to elaborate on the options, because I feel when you want to take up dance as a career, there you can either become a dancer. The first is the dance portion, that is the performance. You want to become performer, to be very like
Nice.
in a point. Performer, you want to get into the film industry, you have like a way wherein you can get into the union, and you need to register with the whichever state. You can either dance in Kerala or Tamil Nadu or Mumbai. In the film industry, each state they have a dancers union. You can get into the dancers union, you can become a back dancer, and then eventually you'll become a assistant choreographer and then a choreographer, which is a lot of people I do like that. But that is a way path in the film industry to become the dancer. But in the other side, that is the professional side or like the technical side, that is or we can call the non-commercial side. Yeah, non-commercial side, what happens is that you have to be very clear on your dance career, because we have dance administration. So with dance administration means setting up dance as a business. So you need to learn how to do marketing. You need to know the pulse of your students. You need to the communication skills are very very important when you speak with a client, because here it's about convincing, right? You need to run a proper administration. So set how to do that is something which is you'll have to learn from sort of some with some people, or you need to just go in a flow. So dance administration is something which some people can take up. The other aspect is the dance events, which are actually a very very big industry, because you can organize concerts, you can organize competitions, you can organize shows, which is a very very huge industry by itself. And when you say dance events, it can be also managing reality shows, it can also be managing a private show, or you can also be like a consultant to companies where you can help them do their annual shows. So these are all new avenues, right? So imagine you're a dance organizer, and you go and give a pitch to around 20 dance companies, and out of that 10 companies tell you that I'm going to give you my project, my annual show project to you. So that person helps in the event management, he helps in creating the event, he gets in the technical stuff like the MC, like the DJ, like the auditorium. So a lot of work is done by him, and this work itself is like a full-time work by itself. And this is something which not many people know, that they can do that also, being a consultant kind of a role. And then another one is wherein you can be like a teacher. All right, a teacher is a person who actually teaches in a studio, where you have to go to you can either teach in schools, because nowadays a lot of schools employ dance teachers full time. So you can also give your resume, approach schools like confidently. You need to voice out and go to a school and give your resume and ask, because nowadays all schools require dance teachers. If you have a very good profile, you can very well go and you can get your get a job easily. That's definitely not a problem right now. So dance teacher in schools is one option. Dance teacher in a studio is another option. A lot of studios do require full-time teachers, because what I see is a lot of teachers are working part-time in like 10 studios. Like, commit yourself to one location, create a crazy space out there, and make people come to you. That's where I feel like a lot of people will be successful, rather than going around teaching in 10 different areas, and you will probably just invest 20% of your energy in like 10 different places. So that's something which is something I believe you need to be committed to a single location and give it time. You will build your student base. So becoming a teacher is one aspect, and then also becoming a choreographer. When I say choreographer, you can choreograph for school programs, college programs. You can do music videos. You can do a lot more things. Yeah, weddings. So there are different aspects of it. So teaching is different, choreography is different, dance administration is there. We have being a dance consultant, wherein you do the organizing for studios and all that. So these are the things in which involves the whole, like, clubbed, all these things clubbed together is the dance industry. All right. Now, if you want to take up dance as a career, you need to choose. Yeah, or it's not that you need to do only one. You can do multiple things, but you need to be very clear on how much time you invest in each uh, section. Like say I want to do teaching. I'll teach like, say, like 12 hours a week, and then because choreographies you don't get regularly, because everyone nowadays, the competition is so high. Everyone wants to like try out different choreographers. So you can become a teacher, and simultaneously you can run your studio. You can also do choreographies, and like I said, consulting is also an option. If you have contacts in the event management space, you can also do that as well. So those are the things which I feel people who are wanting to take up dance as a career is something which they should definitely know.
So, what would you say are the tips for an aspiring dancer to start his or her dancing career?
Yes, because in every section which I told you, everything you can start from scratch, to be very honest. And if you look at the teaching profession, it's important that you acquire good knowledge first, and then build a relationship with the studio, and then the studio and the teacher promotes the class together. So that also happens most of the time. And also sometimes there are studios which have a good brand by itself, so you can just go and work as a full-time teacher there. Now when you talk about the salary, like an entry point, are you asking like a number? Like, are you asking like an approximate number? Say, for example, a starting level dance teacher in a studio earns around 15,000, 10 to 15,000 to start off with. And then there are different additional uh, earnings also, like they if they do workshops or if they do choreographies, it varies, because choreographies, I know a lot of teachers who do as low as 10,000 and it goes up to more than 2 lakhs for the choreography. So it depends on, again, your brand value which you create. So there's a lot of scope in that. But I know a lot of dance teachers in India who are earning as a salary, teaching salary, close to 50-60,000 rupees. And these are the ones who stick to a place, and like I said, create that geographical branding, which means that if they stick to an area, they make sure that within that 4 kilometer radius, they are the king maker there. So I feel that's very important, that you establish and you stay in one place, and then you call the shots. That's very important.
If we have to take other industries, there is at least like a standard protocol or a standard salary base that is followed. But dance, being an artist driven career, you can't predict that.
Yes, definitely. See, I truly believe working on commission, or working on projects is much more heavy. Your scope to earn is much more higher than a person who gets a salary, monthly salary, because you can put a lot of work in June, in the month of June, and then you can probably take lesser projects in July. You decide on how much you want to earn. All right. that freedom is there. And in a creative field, I feel that a lot of people prefer that. A lot of people prefer that. But you should have like a principal income, like a basic principal income, which I feel a lot of people are not doing currently. They are just satisfied with one project they get, and then they just sit silently for a lot of time, for a long period of time. But I feel that you need to set up like a basic income, and which is like, which helps you remain in the industry, and then you can take up bigger projects when it, as and when it comes, or even if it doesn't come, you still have a backup. The reason why people feel the dance industry is risky, or I mean any of these creative fields are risky, is that they feel that the income is not stable. I feel that you need to create that stability by taking several projects. So you know that, say for example, there is a college culturals, or you're doing for working for a college or a school. We know that the annual day functions happen in this period of time. So that time, obviously, we will be engaged. We know that we're going to get that income. And what about the rest of the year? So you need to take up projects which fill in your calendar. You need to do a year long planning and take up projects accordingly, which will help you and which will keep you secure. So you know that, okay, next month, okay, this college is going to contact me, or this academy is going to contact me for a workshop. So you have that stability. um, so that's why you create the stability. And principal income is very important. When I mean principal income, again, I'm emphasizing on the point: teach at a single place and create that brand, because that will actually help you help you grow as a teacher, and also will create that exclusivity, that okay, fine, I know this teacher teaches only in this place, so no matter what, I need to go to that place to learn. So that helps the studio. Also, it also helps the teacher as well. So, but if you're looking at structure, now there is a lot of opportunity abroad. In India, there are no courses right now for full-time bachelor's in dance degree, but I know a lot of colleges in India. I hope it comes. I hope colleges in India start to create a dance bachelor's in dance or a master's in dance degree here, so that it helps a lot of students get jobs. But I feel there has to be like a big, there has to be a different system in place. And India is such a big country. To get that system into place is something which might take a long time. Maybe short term courses are possible in the near future, but the 4-year courses or the 2-year courses in street dance, I'm talking specifically about street dance, is something which might take a long time. But I feel that we don't have to wait for that. There are opportunities abroad where you can go. To be very specific, in South Korea, we have, uh, I know a lot of universities personally which they have a master's in dance degree. So after your school, you can directly go do a 4-year bachelor degree in dance, master's dance. You have street dance and you have the folk dance. So in street dance, you have locking, hip hop, house, popping. So you have a selected pattern in which you do, and there are a lot more things which you learn in the master in the bachelor's degree in dancing. It's a 4-year degree, and once you complete that, and what they teach you in this 4-year degree is very interesting. They teach you about marketing, they teach you about branding, they teach you on how to go and approach studios, they teach you how to run a studio, they teach you about event management. They also, yes, it's an end to end product kind of a course which is there, which is highly important. All these sections which I'm telling are all available as a course, as a proper degree itself, in Korea, in universities, and that is approved by their Ministry of Education. So so that helps a lot of lot of dancers take it up as a full time career. And if you see in South Korea, doctors, lawyers, dancers are all of the same payroll. So like you asked me earlier, you said dance. Yes, it definitely does stand out. See, one thing is that they are they are naturally, they are different, meaning they, the way they move is different, the way Indian dancers move is different, the way every country dancer moves is different. It's just that it's a different flavor. All right, it's just the same thing hip hop is there in India, hip hop is there in Korea or in China or in the US, UK, everywhere. But every countryman does it in a different flavor. The matter is the same, the content is the same. It's just that they all bring their own personalities, which is the beauty of street dance. You have to you have to create that individual flavor. You can explore. It's a dance of freedom. It's a party dance end of the day. So these kind of courses, I feel, will definitely help a lot of dancers decide to take up dance as a career. Because what happens when you complete your bachelor's in dance degree, you can do another 1 year in the college. You can complete your master's also, and you can get a job as a dance professor in the university. And the pay scale for the dancers, the dance professors, in Indian rupees is close to around 5 lakh to 8 lakh per month, Indian rupees. So they draw something close to around 30 lakh to 50 lakh rupees as a starting pay for a dance professor. And literally they are like, it's a amazing thing actually.
I'm mind blown just seeing the numbers and the amount of respect and the education system that is in place for this art field.
Yes,
And also, people are considering it to be so important and the respect that is being given.
definitely. And I feel it varies from region to region. And if we are here in India, and if you want to take up dance as a career, I hate people when they sulk. You have to go out and look for opportunities. And there are a lot of opportunities. We need to make sure that we go out there, find these opportunities, grab them, and then make use of it. So my advice to all the dancers, aspiring dancers, or the students who might take up the creative field is that there are options, and you need to be very clear on your options. You need to know, if you after college, if you want to do your dance degree, get settled. Like I said, in Singapore there are a lot of courses, colleges which offer you degree for ballet, for contemporary, for jazz. And likewise, you can start teaching in academies abroad. And it's
Really?
not too expensive, honestly. If you can spend money for to study in an engineering college in India, you spend this literally the same amount of money and study in these colleges. So in terms of expenditure, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, yeah. And talking about, I want to talk about two perspectives now. Is that how was your encounter like when you went there to Korea? What was your experience? What all did you learn? And pivoting to that, I want to talk about the K-pop project.
All right. So the first time I went to Korea was in 2018, and I was invited by the Korea Dance Organization because they had the IDO World Cup, IDO Dance World Cup in Korea, and there were like a lot of countries. There were close to 86 countries which had come for that competition, and I was invited because I had to do my second level of judging exam. So my first level judging I did it in Singapore. So to become a judge, you need to write an adjudicator's exam. All right. So I did my first level exam in Singapore. During the time when I was searching of what to do and how to make high on dance big, so that's when I stumbled upon IDO, and uh, I got a call from Miss Alina Tan from Singapore, and she said that, okay, I see that you're very interested. Why don't you come to Singapore? And just randomly flew to Singapore without asking him any question. It was just a leap of faith. It Thankfully it worked out well for me. So when I went there, so I did my first level of exam. I cleared it because you have to understand the rules, the regulations, and the protocols of the format of judging. And after I did the level 1 exam, we have to do the level 2. So level 2 usually happens in Europe. It usually happens in Germany or Poland or in Slovenia. So I was again very skeptical to go all the way there alone. Again, I was doing all this alone. Then I got in. Then they suddenly said that within like in 6 months there is a second level exam which is going to happen in Korea. So Korea Dance Organization invited me, and I went all the way there. And then it was like very overwhelming experience because my first time, it was a new country, and until then I hadn't traveled Southeast Asia very much. And I went there, and then like after clearing my level 2 exam, I was an international adjudicator, which means that now I am licensed to judge the international competitions and championships which are organized by IDO, International Dance Organization. So I am an official judge, all right. So I'll be invited to a lot of competitions, or any organizer requires a judge. So we go there, and it's easy for them to call an official judge because we know the rules, regulations, and the protocols which need to be followed. So it saves them a lot of time. So when I went there to Korea, I again made a lot of friends. I made a lot of friends from, when I say friends, I'm talking about people who were like easily like 25, 30 years older to me, because I was like one of the youngest people
25, 30 years
older
than
to
you.
me. Yeah, because see,
But they
I
are still very active
yes,
in this.
yes. So the people who were invited for these exams and these conferences were all presidents of their respective dance federations in their country. So we had, as I said, 86 countries came. So 86 president of their respective dance federations had come over there, and we had like close to around 800 dancers, like cumulative. So I got to know these people from different. Like I made a lot of friends from Norway, a lot of friends from Finland. So that no, that Norwegian region, that side people, I made a lot of, like, we connected naturally. And then there were like people from Germany, Poland, and these are the guys who are like really senior. They have been working for a long time, so they are not currently actively teaching, but they have got into the administration and the business side of dancing. So I made a lot of friends in Asia as well, and I was so overwhelmed by the fact that I actually didn't know the language, because the Koreans were speaking in Korean, the Chinese were there, and then there were people from Indonesia, Mongolia, Thailand, Singapore, Singapore, Malaysia were the only people whom I could speak to in English, and I felt really out of place initially, and I felt more connected to the people in Europe because those guys, most of them spoke English, but somehow during the Asia committee meeting, we started to talk. We you guys start to feel some sort of a connect when we speak with them. Like, even if we don't understand the language, Google Translator, and some way or the other, we made sure we connected. And then what happened? We started to to make it a point that we meet regularly in Asia, and apparently that wasn't happening until I joined. And after I got part of the forum, the IDO forum, they asked me to come back to India and create an organization. That's when I created an organization called IDO Dance Arts India Council, wherein our main motto of starting this organization is to send Indian dancers for workshops, seminars, and competitions globally.
That is a great exposure.
Yes. So that is something which I feel that was our main motto. High on Dance is separate. This organization is separate. So, and I feel that I didn't want to bring it into my private business, because my private business was completely into the studio based. It was a location based business, right? And this is something which is like global. And I wanted a lot of studios also to be involved, because I didn't want everyone to think that High on Dance is sending people. It doesn't sound nice, because they know that we are a private entity, and I wanted a common organization to run this. Only then it will scale up. So then we started to send some dancers. Initially, I had, from my own pocket, I had sponsored a couple of dancers to go for some competitions, because validation is very important. People did not believe me. When I came back to Chennai, I got a lot of messages saying that, oh, this guy is just like scamming people. I know it's not going to happen. And I got a lot of discouraging words, which actually motivated me a lot. And that motivated me in such a way that I actually invested a lot of money in sending people for free abroad. I paid for their flight, paid for their accommodation. I took them all the way there just to prove a point that it's real. Since 2018, now the last program we went was in 2024. We have sent close to 700 dancers from India.
Oh my god.
All right, and it was only because I sent those first three dancers. Seeing that, everyone now was starting to come up and ask, okay, now we are getting applications on regular basis to go abroad. So we have a lot of camps and programs and competitions happening in Southeast Asia and in Europe. So now we are in a situation where people are coming to us, and yet we still face a lot of backlash. obviously every organization will feel that they are like the best, but I believe that everyone are doing their part, and we are doing our part, and I feel we are satisfied with that, and we are having our own fun when we take the dancers from India and go outside. We make sure that their experience is like something which they want to come back again and do it. So we are very, like, we make sure that they have a great time when they come outside to these competitions and workshops, because it's about not I know for a fact that if they come once, they're not going to come again. So that once in a lifetime experience is something which we want to provide for students and professionals as well.
So, what's the K pop project all about?
Yes. So K-pop India project is a initiative by Korea Dance Organization, and they have partnered with me, and they are wanting us to promote the K-pop project in India, and so we are taking up the course and we're going to promote it all
Right.
pan India, so that it's going to be accessible. It's an online course. It's going to be accessible for everyone, and those who cannot or could not afford to go all the way abroad and learn K-pop. So what we are doing is we are planning to bring the K-pop choreographers to India during the course. So it's like a 3-month course. All right. So we have like an online course wherein they have to complete like certain number of sessions, and every 3 months we'll be bringing one K-pop choreographer and having like a face-to-face session with them. And when the K-pop choreographer comes over, he or she will be selecting, like, we'll be having like an audition. So the top students will be getting a chance to go to Korea with a 100% scholarship. So it's something which is like really really interesting, and the K-pop industry is huge.
Makes sense. So, how was your experience in Korea like?
See, nowadays there are a lot of K-pop groups. Like, honestly, I wasn't too knowledgeable about K-pop until 2018. I just knew something K-pop was, and I knew BTS was there. That's all. But now there are a lot of younger groups, and lot of like girl groups, boy groups, and then there are like just singers. So the industry is huge, and people get into K-pop
Yeah.
not just because of BTS is a prime reason, but nowadays I see a lot of youngsters who are like, okay, yeah, I like BTS, but then BTS is okay. I like Blackpink, but then I like other teams also. I like Stray Kids, I like NCT, I like N hyphen. So there are a lot of other groups also which are upcoming. And the thing is that now the K-pop industry and these casting agencies are now looking to get global people as their K-pop idols. So the first major breakthrough was that there was a dancer called Lisa from Blackpink. So she is a Thailand origin, all right, and she was the first person to as a non-Korean to become a, yeah. So then what happened? A lot of people started to get like inspired. Okay, now I also have a chance to become a K-pop idol. Then a big news happened last year. So a girl from Kerala,
Right.
Ariana, she became a K-pop idol. So she joined a group. All right. So that was like a big, like it gave like a big pathways, like a huge light.
So many barriers are already broken.
Yeah. So what happens is that now a lot of young girls and boys are like, okay, now they also stand a chance to become a K-pop idol. And what we want to do is, we are not promising anyone that you're going to become an idol, or so we are just wanting to educate you and train you in the right way, show you what resources are available during, like, with the help of this K-pop course. Like I said, you have to learn a lot of K-pop covers, and then you will get to interact with the Korean teachers. You will get local advice from us as well, because we have been going and getting trained under these K-pop choreographers for the past 6 years now, and we also to an extent have a good knowledge on the about the body language, about the dancing, and the flavor of K-pop. So we are right now in a way wherein we want to provide maximum benefit for the people who are attending the course, And Korea Dance Organization is like been very very understanding regarding the market standards in India, and how do we charge the students and what kind of opportunities we can provide them. So it's something which is like authentic because it's coming directly from Korea. It's not something which we are creating from here.
And is this location specific, or like because you mentioned that there are pre-recorded and live class also, so basically anyone from India can get in touch with you and they can figure out here?
Yes. So this K-pop course is open for anyone. Is open to anyone. So even from we have got inquiries from Assam, from Meghalaya. We have got inquiries from Ahmedabad region. We have got even from West Bengal. So we have got a lot of inquiries from the northern part of India. We have got a lot of inquiries from South India as well. Obviously, from Chennai, we get a lot of inquiries because people know us. People
Yeah.
know, so that validation is already there. But we are also trying to reach out to a lot more people across India, and we want to tell them that there is a scope and there is a hope for you to learn K-pop the right way from the right teachers, so that you get a good resource. And the Korean teachers are very friendly. They are the sweetest people. They would love to help you in whatever capacity they can. So
So, what would your words of wisdom be as we come to an end of this episode?
So my only advice for everyone is that keep trying, and uh, there will be situations where you might feel that okay, that's the end of the path. But I feel that you just close your eyes and then rework on yourself, and then you will definitely find ways to succeed. And as I say, success is not a point. It is a journey. It is a journey, and it is also hard to remain successful. So just because you feel comfortable doesn't mean that you need to relax. You should always be on your toes, and especially in a creative field, be ready to do anything. And that's when, and keep trying, explore, and just don't stick to your plan. There should not be just one plan.
Yeah, yeah. And everything that you've told me about your journey is exactly your words, what you stand by. So really happy to have this conversation and have known you, like, I think even better. I'm sure the audience also who's watching it would be really happy to have known your entire journey. And if nothing, it's just going to aspire and inspire them to embark on further journey as well. And I'm sure you can get in touch with him. Just contact High on Dance page and you know where to find him. How was your experience of the podcast?
My experience was very nice. I mean, this was my first podcast, to be very honest, but I felt very comfortable. I mean, the way you were asking me questions was uh, made me feel like less nervous. Obviously, I'm not nervous to talk, but then obviously when you have like a mic in front of you and a camera and lights and all this stuff, it gives one very different experience. But yeah, I mean, like, you made it comfortable, and thank you so much. You're doing a great job.
Done. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pranav, for joining. A whole decoding of this dance profession has happened, and especially for the aspiring dancers out there whom I'm sure are watching this episode, this would be a very useful episode for them because they've understood how they have to keep themselves updated, how important it is, how they can transit this into a career, what is the paycheck going to look like, and so many more things. So thank you so much for sharing such a detailed information with us 101. With that, we come to an end of the episode for sure. Thank you so much. We had a great time hosting you. Hope you did so too, and hope our viewers too had a great time watching this episode. And today you've learned something new to take back. And if yes, then please let us know in the comment section below. With that, thank you so much for watching. This is Khyati Thakur, your host, signing off. See you soon in the next episode of Conversation with Katie.